In recent times, we've had locomotives receiving unofficial paint jobs that contradict the status quo. I mean, look what's happening with CSX and NS right now. In this case, we're going deep into the storage lines on the Union Pacific to a short-lived internet sensation. Deep in the deserts of Utah lied a massive deadline of stored Union Pacific locomotives, all victims of decreased traffic and precision scheduled railroading. In front of the deadline is SC60M2519, originally built as 6364 in October 1992 and later renumbered to 2519 in 2006. 2519, alongside other SC60s, were used nationwide on various freight trains across the UP system, before being thrown into storage in 2015 when many were being sidelined from revenue service. 2519 would end up in a storage line in Lund, Utah, being placed at the front of the many outdated and unreliable locomotives, including some sister units like SC60M2472. The lead locomotive would be the victim of a group of graffiti artists as the team painted the entire engine in the dead of night into, well, a tiger. Fancy tiger stripes down to the frame, eyes on the front windows, to a giant gaping mouth covering the front of the nose. This was a very impressive piece of graffiti, and I'm surprised that they managed to do the whole damn engine. The Rail Beast would become a talking point on social media throughout that week, gathering quite some buzz across different social media platforms for better or for worse. But saying this, it wasn't long until UP caught wind of it, because just a week after the massive makeover, the locomotive was taken out of the storage line and moved all the way down to Jenks for a full repaint. 2519 would later be outshopped in a fresh new coat of UP paint, but this didn't mean anything because the locomotive was then returned back to storage and hasn't moved since. This incident was quite a unique stance, given that UP locomotives are subject to the vandalism in certain parts of the network, yet the company doesn't really do much for it. I guess the situation was different enough since UP refused to comment on the video, but officials from Operation Lightsaber say otherwise, stating, "Railroad trespassing laws are in place to protect the private property of rail companies and keep citizens safe. The video is an example of illegal trespassing on railroad property, whether via drone or for vandalism. They set a bad example and seem to intend to spur copycat efforts done by other thrill seekers." Sadly, railroads are victims to these types of people that train surf or graffiti railroad equipment just for the sake of wanting likes, follows, or attention. But I mean, anyone will do anything for attention online. It doesn't surprise me. This whole graffiti thing is a rather big rabbit hole to jump into, which is something I don't want to bother covering here, since that is a rather controversial and divisive topic in the railfan community, but whatever. Despite it being repainted into the same corporate schemes and wheeled deep into another storage line, it will forever be known as the Rail Beast.